bomb drop. You have until July 14th. So let's check more on July 14th news. That made me excited.
America's payment.
Giving back to the community. Definitely subscribe. Thanks, man. Thanks for the like button. Yeah, that's the thing. With XRP, I don't need more money. You don't see me. Maybe I have like one affiliate link just because it kind of supports for my food expenses. But I literally do this for zero money. I probably don't make any money from this except ad revenue, which kind of pays for the content. But whatever I do, I will put back in the channel. Because if I need the money, like I was very fortunate. But yeah, focusing on the July 14th, and then we can discuss this further. Right now, I'm so hyped about the prices. Like bam, bam, bam. Literally every time I start talking, the crypto markets go up.
So in
what do you think about Ondo and the RWA narrative and Robinhood building on L2 Arbitrum? I'll just come back this in 10 minutes or 3 minutes if that's okay. I'll make a video on this as well. So it's a very good question. I don't know much about Ondo, but I know much about RWA. And here to give a boost to L2 narrative, I got to check more on Arbitrum. So I really want to speak about stuff that I know about. I know Robinhood is building on the Ethereum layer 2 as well. So Arbitrum price is very low. I just think that right now the most hype has been on other coins. I know a lot about RWA because I did work with some companies on RWA. I think it's a very big thing, and that's why BlackRock is coming in.
General, is crypto being used already by other countries that have already made the step into ISO? Also, what is Ripple and XRP's role in all of ISO? I'm going to answer all.
Whoa. What was this chart? Ripple Protocol Conscious RPCA. This looks like those detective charts to me. Why is this? I guess that's all the development all the cryptos are developing. Ripple Protocol Conscious is having Interledger, Hyperledger Quilt connected with IBM. Is this connected together? I think this chart makes zero sense to me. Suddenly rich overnight. Don't touch any money for at least 6 months. Let it sit and continue your life as is. Let it sink in and think before you react. I fully agree. So many people, I heard once a story, I never talked to this guy ever again, but I heard a story of a guy who had $1 million. He had $1 million by trading, wasn't crypto trading, was stock trading, and guess what? He lost over $1.2 million partying in a club. So he basically donated $1.2 million, I'm guessing, for the alcohol and the girls. For what? Now he's literally broke. He said he was depressed. How can you be depressed and spend $1.5 million? Like, if I'm depressed, I spend maybe like $300 on a new camera. But imagine losing $1.2 million. It's very unfortunate, and it could probably like change your life together. Whoa, Ripple is at $2.9. Wow, just as talking about this. But there's people whose greed has destroyed them, and they lost like $3 million, $4 million.
His role in all of ISO. I'm going to answer all of that in this video. Let's go ahead and get into it, guys. I'm Crypto Sensei. Thanks for being here. Let's jump in. The federal government is releasing this information to better prepare the public and financial institutions for this migration. It says prepare to go live with ISO.
What's ISO? Is your EcoWire ecosystem prepared for ISO 20022 on Fedwire funds with these testing enterprise resource planning systems? So I guess that's, if we go fully into detail, that's exactly what we are seeing right now. ISO is an international messaging standard for financial transactions. So that's what Ripple is trying to work on. It's trying to work with the banks. Who has the most money? It's obviously the banks. And you can see that it's working right now. The banks will work with Ripple and XRP, and that's going to be the future for them.
022 is an international standard messaging standard for financial transactions designed to replace a patchwork of old.
So let's just sink in this for a bit. Where can you make the most amount of money? It's actually with the banks. It's not with the retail investors, because if the banks have the most amount of money, they're going to work with the banks instead. There's literally infinite money glitch with the banks. They have probably $10 million. And they have, $15 million. It's absolutely insane how little money that is to them. And that's what Ripple is trying to do. If it can make these transactions super fast, like the biggest issue with banks is they take 1 day. And now more and more banks are trying to make it same day transfers or instant transfers. So if Ripple can solve this, the banks will pay a hefty thing, because now it's getting more competitive. The whole point of crypto is it's fast transactions that you can send anywhere. Banks needed like a day or 2 days, or they have some sort of bugs or issues. They're much more secure, but that's the issue right now, is that once we get this done and true and approved by the government, like XRP is gonna literally skyrocket from that point.
They're inconsistent formats. It enables all banks and payment systems to speak the same language, making cross-border
Yeah, so that's what XRP is trying to do. Look at this. This is exactly what I'm saying, guys.
transactions much smoother and less error prone. There's richer, structured data. The new standard allows payment messages to carry much more detailed and structured information, such as invoice numbers, payment purpose, and full sender and receiver details. This improves transparency. It speeds up compliance checks and anti-money laundering, and reduces manual.
Yeah, it definitely tells me just checking an XRP price that the price will be broken right now, especially with news like that. Like, every video I click, there's some different news for XRP.
Intervention and errors made by people like you and I. Faster and more reliable payments with more data and harmonized messaging. Payments can be processed faster with.
That's what XRP is trying to improve. It's trying to not just change crypto transactions. It has chosen Bank of New York Mellon to be custodian for LUSD. Exactly. So partnering with a bank, how many cryptos do you know that partners with a bank? I maybe know 1 or 2. Maybe 1, XRP. So look at this. This is what they want to do. They want to make these payments very fast. Ripple is working with XRP to make these payments
fast. Supports automation and new financial technologies, paving the way for innovations like.
So this meeting might be giving an XRP an upper edge, exactly as we've been waiting.
Real-time payments and digital assets. That is the key word right there. So what are we looking at globally here? As a global interoperability, as 70 countries have already adopted ISO.
Like every single, like if we get to 185 countries, or all the countries basically, and the states, that's what US is going to join. We're going to get instant transfers. And there's trillions and trillions of money coming through. Ripple will probably be paid handsomely to process these transactions. That's why they've been working on a code for 13, 14 years.
Can interact more seamlessly with international partners. This is crucial for cross-border payments or trade and finance, reducing friction and cost. Also, I wanted to look up all of the ISO, approved tokens, and these are on the screen here: XRP, XLM, XEC, Algo, IOTA, HBAR.
Yeah, so these are, all of them are competing, right, to work with the banks. But that's why some of these Algorand and things like that, they haven't been performing that well. Because what we saw is other cryptocurrencies basically pumping, like Ripple having the advantage. Somehow they got first to the government.
First distributed ledger technology company to join the ISO 20022 standard. So yes, Ripple was there at the beginning when all of this stuff was being written in.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You don't have to be the best cryptocurrency, but you do have to be the first. Like, that's what makes XRP big. It's not, I wouldn't say, there's probably better cryptos than XRP and Ripple, right, for transfers. But just the way, like, McDonald's was first to actually be in making fast food restaurants and burgers, that's what makes crypto really, like, bomb, like what it makes it explode to $3, because they're the first ones to actually make this offer to the government. IOTA and all of these, they could be working, like the market is super huge. I never heard of XDC. But the issue is a lot of these have dumped because they have found out that XRP is going to be the leading, like it's been invited to so many conferences, so many events by the US government. Maybe XLM and IOTA might work with countries outside of US, but in my opinion, my non-financial advice is that XRP is the one that's going to be working with the US, where there's trillions of money coming in and out.
Approved tokens, and these are on the screen here: XRP, XLM, XEC, Algo, IOTA, HBAR, Quant, and ADA. If you've come to my live streams or you've watched this channel, we've talked about almost all of this technology. I did want to see what Ripple's role has been in the development of ISO, just to give you that extra context. And so you know, membership and participation. First DLT member, Ripple became the first distributed ledger technology company to join the ISO 20022 standard. So
that's exactly what I'm saying. It was the first one.
Yes, Ripple was there at the beginning when all of this stuff was being written and wrote. They had their say. They
literally could write anything they wanted and grew that way.
The ability to lend some of the brightest and best people from Ripple to go.
Look at this. These people, they have built basically one of the biggest future transactions in the next few years. Mark my words. Like, these people are very smart minds that connected and said, how can we improve the world and how can we work in the background? Like, the Brad Garlinghouse is the CEO, but these guys probably have made tons of money. They're probably multi-millionaires, and they're doing it, for the love of basically improving what's wrong with the banks. Like, they each have probably their own story on why they want to do it.
Go to this board and make sure that the development of this is going to impact and greater help the digital asset space, which is responsible for developing and maintaining the ISO standard and financial messaging. Active standards and body participant. Ripple is part of the ISO 20022 registration management group, also known as the RMG, giving it direct voice on shaping the future direction of cross-border payment standards. So you got to love with a company that we love, right? XRP Army loves, Ripple, has been there from the get-go, helping set the stage for all of this. It's just so cool, man. Strategic contributions, promoting blockchain integrations, Ripple's involved.
Yeah, this is great news. Obviously, like, driving interoperability by supporting ISO 20022, Ripple enables seamless data exchange and messaging between banks. That's exactly what the banks want to do. They want to work with each other, and they want to have everything on its own transactions. So, institutional adoption. Ripple's early and active participation encourages banks and financial institutions to consider ISO 20022 compliant assets like XRP for efficient, low-cost border payments. Like, none of the banks wanted to work before with Ripple because, oh, you're a security. Why should we work with you? We don't want to get in trouble with the U.S. government. With the lawsuit over, the banks contacting them again, and let's work something out. Because they didn't want to get fined by the basically U.S. government for listing and working with a security, which has tons of issues and regulation challenges. So if XRP would be a security, this would mean the end of XRP. XRP would never recover from that. So they literally worked in 2 to 4 years. That's what I'm telling you guys, 2 to 4 years. We're going to be seeing XRP banks. We're going to be seeing these transactions. And that's when I think XRP could reach like $8, $10.
A bank to upgrade their own infrastructure, it could take 2 to 4 years.
So yeah, it's going to take with Ripple, it's going to take some time and also regulation and all of that stuff. The bank system is outdated. It needs to be improved. And that's what people are aiming for. They want to show that Ripple is going to be the leading adopter. And it's going to be like a repairman coming to the bank. That's Ripple coming as a repairman to the bank itself to fix it.
Using Ripple, they could do this in just a few months. All right. There's more information here that Smoke was putting out too. He has some information here highlighted here. It says the Federal Reserve is expected to migrate in March. Obviously, that got pushed back to July. Internationally accepted financial messaging exchange standard. The exception is that this transition will boost the adoption of the real-time payment service FedNow, which enables instant payments.
Yeah, so FedNow, literally the U.S. government, is going to be working with XRP, companies and individuals. The FedNow service network has over 1,200 live participants, over 37 service providers with participants headquartered in all 50 states and Washington. Financial institutions on the network range from under 500 million to over 3 trillion assets. So 3 trillion in assets is going to be moved every single day.
Providers with participants headquartered in all 50 states and Washington, D.C. The financial institutions on the network range from 500 million to 3 trillion in assets. There's also some updates here. Federal Reserve changes to wire transfers. So this is going to be affected. Wire freeze, no wire actively allowed. So they're getting rid of some of this old technology.
This was like for generations. The network is administered by banks and transfer service agencies around the world. I'm actually kind of shocked this is going to be like removed. This was used by billions, and they're going to replace they're gonna go out with the old and in with the new, and that's why they're inviting XRP to all these their documents and meetings, because this is the stuff of the past. Like boomer banks, that's what I call them, boomer banks, because it took one day. Like sometimes it froze your assets without even knowing, and even the bank didn't know, because their system froze something. With XRP, everything is going to be fully automated, and everything is going to be like a kind of like a transaction, like we have Etherscan and Bitcoin scan. Same with the banks. You can check the transfers, when were they sent, who were they sent to. I guess that will be private for the banks, but it will be way easier to check all the transactions than like a mess of cabbage that they have right now with the banks. Like the banks right now are very outdated, because they were made like 30, 40, 50 years ago. Their systems are from 1991, 2002. And yes, they're updated, but nowhere near as crypto is being developed. AI and crypto are way faster in development and way better paid than, for example, bank institution levels and all that corporation jumbo.
So this is going to be effective.
Look, 11 July. That is crazy. That is literally in effect right now. So one of the biggest banks won't allow wire freezes. Wires can resume using the new federal standards. The Fed's ICO Big Bang on Monday is a massive upgrade for the entire payment system. XRP, like gonna be working on this for 4 years. I guess 4 years of my channel. Like I'm gonna be working on my channel for the next 4 years and talking about this. Like that's my, I guess that's my life goal now. So next 2 to 4 years, I'm gonna be talking and telling you everything that will happen. So the biggest event to happen in payments, and once XRP comes to work in.
And, people are saying, hey, like, is there anything that we can take a look at, any data that would allow us to know if crypto is going to be used in a massive way, like on Monday? And so there are other countries, 70 other countries that have already upgraded to real-time gross settlement, and they are using the ISO standard. So let's get a little data on that. Global adoption, daily payment volume. So I wanted to know how many payments are being sent using this new ISO standard already globally.
Probably like tons and tons is getting sent already, billions.